Greetings. I am Georgette Mayo for Norgard Designs Global Lectures 2023. Welcome to the final session, number 5, of Beads on a Base, a survey of bead embroidery artists. Instead of referring to this session as a lecture, I will simply call this a talk, as I will be telling you a little bit about myself, the beaders who have inspired me on my creative journey, and my experience with bead embroidery. Who is Georgette Mayo, aka Divine Diva G? Simply, I am an archivist for an academic institution by day and a beader in the evenings and the weekends. About my title, Divine Diva G. I can relate to Heidi Kumi's philosophy mentioned in session 2 of the OGs of bead embroidery. Heidi states, the universe is coming through when you are working on a piece. She cannot take credit for her work and what she does. She is just a transmitter. Hence, this is what I call or consider as a divine experience. Adding Diva G by nature, I am an introvert, yet I consider myself extra in my style. It is also a riff off of Bette Midler's title, The Divine Miss M, shout out to the 1970s. Divine Diva G Designs is my small business where I sell my work online through custom orders and at select art museum gift stores in South Carolina. I started working with seed beads 7 years ago when I became an empty nester. Did I mention I'm a proud mother of 3 young adults and a Gigi to a new grandson? Prior to my bead weaving, I made jewelry using larger beads. YouTube videos were my teachers as I challenged myself with this new to me art form. Kelly Dell of Off the Beaded Path videos were extremely helpful. I worked with various styles and techniques, mostly being drawn to contemporary geometric beadwork. Currently, I am working with the Indebelly, aka herringbone stitch, in creating Indebelly twist ropes in 3 different sizes, which I call the baby, the mama, and the Gigi. Each rope I make is unique, using larger, different beads for the focal point. And this is an example on the backdrop of this page. I favor working with bright colors to create happiness, but I also work with various shades of blues and purples, which I refer to as my mood colors. I would be remiss if I did not mention several of the many teachers and mentors who have inspired me on my beading journey. I have been fortunate to work with Sam Norgard, who I sought out at the Coastal Beading Guild in Savannah, Georgia, for her work with contemporary geometric beadwork. In turn, she connected me with the Kate McKinnon, the mastermind behind contemporary geometric beadwork. I had the awesome opportunity to study with her and her proteges for 2 separate 3-day workshops. Kate's passion for this form of beadwork is heartfelt and infectious. These workshops provided techniques and fellowship with master beaders, several who have lectures on this platform, including Wendy Ellsworth, my Taurus sister. During the pandemic, Zoom brought innovative master beading artists into my living room. Video workshops provided me with the opportunity to learn from Jean Power from England and Teresa Sullivan in the United States, among many others. I am a fan woman of the Dean bead artist, Shiro, my Shiro, Joyce J. Scott, who has taken this art form and stretched its boundaries as cultural statements and social commentary. I admire her work in books and in the numerous museums I visit nationally. Regarding my experience with bead embroidery, I had the wonderful opportunity in 2018 to be a student of whom I consider the rock star of bead embroidery, Sherry Serafini, whom I highlighted in session 2, the OGs of bead embroidery. A shout out of thanks to the Coastal Beading Guild for hosting her. I was part of a 2-day workshop, and below my photo op with Sherry, the Crazy Quilt bracelet was introduced on day 2. Here it is in mid-planning stages. It is a work in progress still. All my efforts went into the first day's project of creating this barnacle pendant. Here, you can see the various stages it went through. Sherry encourages using unique objects like rock hoop pottery, which is incorporated in this piece. Since I enjoy bling and using different types of beads and materials, I added abalone shells when working on this pendant at home. Once I finished the pendant, I thought about working on denim as my base for the next project. I love vintage clothing, and I had this 1920s silk embroidery jacket that was deteriorating. So I decided to applique some of the larger flowers onto the back of this fitted denim jacket. Again, it is still a work in progress. Looking back on some of my finished pieces, I like beading around faces. The cameos on either side were purchased on Etsy, where I used a combination of delicas, round seed beads, and 3mm Chinese crystals, backing with ultra suede. The middle face was from an earring where I had used round seed beads with delicas and 11-aught delica hex beads, again, backed with ultra suede. Some fun earrings, bottle caps from Brooklyn Brewery Beer. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, so these caps held some significance to me. I used a combination of 15-aught and 11-aught seed and delica beads, backing them with a tie-dye fabric, and I love tie-dye fabrics. I asked my son James, who is an artist, to paint a design of his choice on the back of a denim jacket so I could bead on it. And as you can see, I have not begun, but I am including it here as an extra motivation to do so in the near future. This brings us to the conclusion of Beads on a Base sessions for season 4 of our global lecture series. If you have watched all 5 sessions this year, you are the best. If you have just seen one or skipped around, when your time allots, please go back and look at what you have missed. I hope that you use these sessions as resources and inspiration to create your own unique expressions in bead embroidery. Again, we hope you start with experimenting with this year's global project theme. And this time, I'm letting the emojis speak for themselves. Again, I am Georgette Mayo of Divine Diva G Designs for Norgard Designs Global Lectures. It has been my pleasure spending this time with you during our bead embroidery sessions. Big thanks for joining us. And in parting, I wish you all, each of you, joy, wellness, and happy beading. Take care.